Hey guys, here. So today I want to go through, what the problems in Madden 21 are now for gameplay related things. Now, we're not going to go through Ultimate Team things. That's going to be a different video. We'll go through Ultimate Team improvements. These are improvements, though. These are not like quality of life needed things. Like, obviously, custom audibles, custom subs, that kind of stuff would be really nice. But these are like what's wrong with gameplay at the moment. I know Kia did a video this morning, like state of the game. So this is going to be my opinion, state of the game. Kia is probably, I would say there's people that maybe match his knowledge in the Madden community, but nobody exceeds it, right? Super knowledgeable guy. Check out NY Kia there on YouTube. But what's up? What's going on with gameplay? Major problems. But the positive thing is the problems in Madden 21 are lesser than they were in previous years. Out of the 5 years, or since Madden 15, what is that, 6 years that I've been creating content for Madden, I've been doing these videos like every year. And the list this year is shorter than ever. I think they're really, really getting closer to the game that we deserve as a community. We're not there yet. There's still major flaws, but it is very encouraging to see. A lot of things that I have mentioned in past in these videos have been looked at and have been touched on by developers. Obviously not nearly enough, but let's go through that. First, a word from our sponsor, then we'll get into the bulk of the issues. Rock Bottom Coins is the #1 place to get your Madden 21 coins. If you make coins for my videos, sell them to Rock Bottom. If you're buying, use my code GUTBOX for 15% off. Alright, so since this is a gameplay related thing, let's have gameplay from stream earlier today going on in the background. We got some Fox on Fox action right there. But let's talk about it. Disconnects, obviously, huge high up. If you're literally not able to play the game, or if you play the game and not get a win or loss out of it, major problems. Disconnects, DC glitches, that kind of stuff, desyncs, so just random crashes, all that stuff needs to be looked at. Top priority for EA. I know they have people specifically on that for you. Bans that aren't well explained, like if they don't even allow you to play the game anymore, that's kind of crazy. Like that they just have random bans for people. So the biggest frustrations, #1, #2, aren't necessarily in gameplay, but they're kind of like around the gameplay. If you can't play the game, how are you going to play the game and how are you going to enjoy it? So please get better on your bans, and please get better on the disconnect glitches, both on purpose and, EA servers dropping connections. So gameplay-wise, dropped interceptions. Major problem. Now you're like, well, if they catch more interceptions under for a pass game, no, it's a good balance in the pass game because bad decisions need to be punished, right? That is gameplay. This isn't like real NFL where just chucking it up into double coverage is good if you have Megatron and they have, I don't know, the Bears. Bears are pretty good defensively. Whoever Megatron jumps over, Cowboys. So that's not good decisions. You have to reward good decisions and good gameplay, and it's not being done right now with dropped interceptions. That needs to happen. Like if you throw in a double coverage and the defender gets their hands on the ball, an interception 95% of the time. It needs to happen. Now, one-on-one situations, I can see a lower rate of interceptions because in the NFL, throwing a one-on-one and it going incomplete happens all the time. So I can see definitely a lower interception. But like wide open in the field, they throw it at your guy, it should not bounce off their hands in a competitive game mode. Sim style, and if you have like 60 catching, okay, that's sim, that's fine. But in a competitive game mode, shouldn't be the case at all for drop because that's a bad decision. And that should be punished, right? We have like Taylor Mays like acrobating out here like a flying circus with 44 spec catch. He should be able to actually catch a regular ball straight at his hands too. All right, so wide receivers also drop wide open picks. Like right later on in this gameplay, I literally drop a clutch third down. I'm not gonna fast forward because I actually don't know where it is on the screen. But I drop a clutch third down that loses me the game. Like that would have brought me to field goal range. And fourth down, I ended up, punting it because I was still leading by 3, and I guess I could have stopped them on defense. But regardless, it was very annoying. It's not like I couldn't have played better, but still the drop, wide open drop for my tight end, very frustrated because it changed the entire outcome of the game. So, major problem right there. Also like rat catches, right? Rat catches, you'll catch the ball, take 2 or 3 steps, and the guy will like touch you. That still hasn't been fixed, right? They put in the last patch note that there's a wider, a closer range that'll get knocked out on. Still doesn't happen. Wide receivers still drop the ball after too many steps. So fix that, please. Accurate passes from the quarterback don't sail as much. Or sorry, they still sail. I got to be able to read my notes better. Like wide receivers sometimes get like sucked down and the ball just kind of like goes over the head and it goes right to the defender. Super annoying. So like when you say accurate pass on the feedback, it should be an accurate pass. All right? Don't take me out of the play as a wide receiver once I click on. Inaccurate passes, like for example, low point passes that show inaccurate on the screen, oftentimes actually end up working out well because the guy gets like better position on them and they end up catching it. Say like it's very frustrating for the feedback system to be broke like it is. So please fix that. Make accurate passes accurate, inaccurate passes. If you're gonna show inaccurate, throw it inaccurate and don't bail people out for making bad inaccurate passes, like on the run, under pressure, low points, high points, whatever it is. Actually sail it or throw it into the ground more. Air trucks need to be passionate of the game. That's not very controversial. Pursuit angles, play rec of linebackers and all defenders needs to increase, right? Haven't we been talking about terrible pursuit angles for a long time now? It's horrible. Play rec of linebackers. Zone coverage, guys, right? When they're in zone coverage, their first steps are always backwards or flat-footed on against the run. That's why you need to run man coverage a lot of time in order to stop the run. It's very frustrating because zone coverage IRL, like they'll flow to the ball right away because their job is to stop the run as those linebackers. So the fact that they're flat-footed allow them to get swept out by the stretch, dive pushes the D lineman. We'll get to that in a second. So like the flat-footedness, and then like if a running back moves a little, sometimes the DBs or linebackers just like, oh, you moved? I'm not going to attack. I'm not even trying to tackle you. So the awareness and smarts of defensive players definitely need to increase there. Pursuit angles need to get better, not be so dumb with guys just like kind of like little swerving. Linebackers need to be able to jump for balls, or safeties need to not when they're subbed in that linebacker. One of those things need to break because currently there's no reason to have linebackers on the field because of how bad they are in pass coverage, and they don't really offer anything more in the run game, right? I've seen safeties throw away 330-pound linemen. The honey badger just tosses them like yesterday's news. They toss them in the trash, okay? No, please make weight or impact block or whatever matter. Safeties at linebacker currently play much better linebackers than they should because they actually jump. Zones need to play the run better. Should have to play with spied safeties to effectively limit the run game. Okay. D linemen need to be able to push and not only get pushed. On a dive, you'll notice your D linemen always get pushed back about 1.5 yards, 2 yards down the field no matter your weight. Like, I think guys with good stats, right? Like, especially the strong guys, the good technique players, like Tyson Alualu. He's not, like, huge, but he's, like, the best nose tackle in the game, according to PFF, because, he's fundamentally sound. He gets good push. He's strong, okay? So it doesn't necessarily have to be weight-based, but defensive linemen need to be tougher. They need to be able to hold their ground more than they currently do. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your stats. You'll still get washed out of the play on a run game too frequently because it's like pre-canned animations no matter stats, and it's very frustrating that stats don't matter on the D-line and O-line very much at all. Pass rush, maybe it will. It does a little bit more than the run. It's frustrating. Now, sheds will happen, obviously, but, please make the push actually matter too. Click-ons. Clicking onto the right guy 100% needs to improve too, right? When I click on, it clicks on me the guy further away from the ball. Very frustrating. Please improve click-ons. Offensive linemen and getting disengaged randomly and sometimes on purpose by the defense, that needs to get fixed, right? They got to fix disengaged blitzes, although they have kind of nerfed them a little bit. But O-linemen getting disengaged randomly should not be happening. Like the disengage glitch, please fix it. Improve your offensive line AI. QBs need to fumble when hit again. That's why QB draw is so powerful for so many guys. Like EA went to hey, let's institute a fatigue penalty now when guys are running the ball out with a quarterback. Because here's the thing, right? In MUT, if you're running with a quarterback a lot, you're going to get fatigue, and therefore you can't run with the quarterback a lot. Because if you get Lamar Jackson on your squad, at backup quarterback, you're surely going to use the Ravens' real-life backup too, right? Nobody realistically would run with Lamar and Michael Vick on the roster. That would be too much. That's just crazy talk. No. So, unfortunately, EA's grand scheme of making it fatigue-based completely backfires because multiple quarterbacks means they're never getting fatigued. And it's just frustrating to see that. Go back to quarterback fumbling. Take care of this QB draw issue with that. Thank you. One step ahead in bench press should be up to between 4 and 6 AP. Now, I think 4 is the minimum it should go to, so you can't put 3 on the field at once. 6 is probably the maximum, because at 6, then you can't put more than 1. So somewhere between there, I'm fine with one step ahead going, because currently, it's terrible. One step ahead is not good for this game. Bench press should be increased along with it because they're basically twins there. So definitely, please, up the AP on one step ahead in bench press. Blocking awareness needs to be tuned up so that way don't miss dudes as much. For like seeing offensive linemen basically watch runners go by them without even trying for them. Or they target like a safety, but there's a linebacker right there. You're like, all right, sweet. My offensive lineman's going to pick up this guy right in front of his face. And then you're running like that's going to happen. And then it doesn't happen. You're like, oh, well, that's shitty. Right? So, like, obviously, I don't want this to be the first thing that improves. I don't want blocking awareness to get better. But, like, if all these things get instituted, I think that's a much more balanced run game. The fact that, like, offensive linemen now can recognize blocks, but also defenders also do their job better. They don't get washed out as much. They hold the edge, pursuit, play rec, all that stuff. Linebackers act smart. Like, all this coming in conjunction with each other. We can't just have one first before the others, because then the run game would just get even crazier if they increase the awareness and make them smart first. Wide receivers, downfield, or guys on kickoff, sometimes they just, like, give up and like, there's a play going on. I'm just going to jog lightly, or I'm just going to stand here and sit and wait. They need to put more effort once they're like kind of down the field, right? I don't know whether it's tied to the high motor trait. That'd be kind of neat if they let us know it is. But like guys, they really need to fix that, where they just kind of like forget that they're playing football and they're then cheerleaders. The scramble drill is still madness out there, right? The guys, like, say you're outside the pocket. Say you're rushing with a guy, like, a Michael Vick's out the pocket. The wide receivers just go random directions, right? They need to realize they can go to green grass. They need to realize they got to work themselves free. And the zones around them are also dumb and acting like pylons out there. They're just basically stuck in their zone and they don't really move very much. So, like, create a realistic scramble drill so that it looks more like the NFL. Like, say a guy takes off, and then all of a sudden the defender also is like, oh my God, I got to go defend that too. So, like, two guys are breaking to a point, trying to shake loose. Make it more realistic that way, right? You can, Matt Swaka, aka Gut Fox on Twitch, said you can fix that with a plaster concept like real football. You press in the left stick and the DB's plaster to the closest wide receiver, right? Which basically becomes the scramble drill. So some way of making the DB stick to the wide receivers to make it not like just overpower once they learn how to go to green grass. Once that's fixed up, but please make that better. Throw out of sacks are really wild right now. Will be different in games too often, right? I get hit and the ball floats up and gets an easy interception. After I'm right about to throw it, like it's almost exiting my hands. Then the guy will be like, he'll basically barely hit the button, he'll get hit and the ball goes straight to the ground and it's an incompletion, right? And that will literally decide. Even though mine was a better throw because I got it out quicker, it's actually a worse throw versus the guy that like hit it last, but then he got rewarded more because it's just got spiked into the ground for an incompletion. So throw out of sacks, they need to fix that. Either make them all incompletions or fumbles, right? Or even get rid of fumbles. But do something like that so that way it's not as punishing. I prefer the incompletion route because right now they decide too many games with throw out of sacks. That one's, I'm sure, a controversial opinion too. This is a bug. When you send the spy guys in assignments, like I specifically set a guy to spy the quarterback, and then when I send him at the quarterback, say he rolls out, I don't want my guys on zones or in man coverage to forget their jobs and chase after the quarterback, right? They look at that, they're like, oh, there's a guy that's on a specific thing to chase the quarterback, but you know what? I know he's 20 yards closer to the quarterback than I am, but I'm just going to abandon my assignment too and run. No, that's not your job. Don't be like out there in La La Land doing this kind of stuff, right? We need you I want the players not to chase the quarterback when I don't want them chasing the quarterback, right? When I click the stick in, I want just the spy to go. I don't want 3 defensive backs going too. So please fix that. When I send to one spy, send either the spy or the nearest zone if I don't have a spy out there, but don't send multiple players, please. Very annoying, especially when your man coverage peels off. And it's just the worst. Because then there's an easy, dunk over onto the wide open man guy because his assignment got abandoned. Running backs and running into the O-lineman need to stumble or fall more, right? It's called physics. When you're the running back in Madden, if you run as fast as you can into the back of your guard, you hit them and like slip off and go forward. And the defense kind of like forgets that you're there. They're like, oh my God, did you just teleport? They act and they can't interact with you because you're like sliding past and it's like you can fall forward and like you move 5 yards forward before the defense realizes you're back there running the ball again. Instead, what should happen, if you run in the back of the guard as hard as possible, as fast as possible, you should stumble backwards. You should fall backwards. Instead, they're rewarding really bad stick right now by allowing you to slide past that. Either institute more tripping or make the running back fall down more often if you run in the back of the lineman, and just make it worse. Make people have to hit open holes, right? Or make them input the thing like Le'Veon Bell does and make them hesitate themselves with their left stick. Make the run game more skill-based. All right. Players flipping and motioning players in certain formations still screws up man and zone assignments. Please keep working on that, on fixing that stuff. You've got worked a little bit. I hate that we can't motion anymore. They keep nerfing my own schemes because they see me, the God Gamer. Everybody's copying my trips tight end scheme. It's cool and all. But please stop nerfing trips tight end. Allow us to motion and motion hike out of it. But actually fix the problems. Don't just freeze trips tight end. Fix the motion glitch problems rather than anything else. All right. Put the give yourself up mechanic back on L2. There's no reason they should have gotten rid of it. Warp tackles are a little too far right now, but I don't want to see it change without the run game getting a major increase too. So those are my issues currently with the game. Let me know in the comments what yours are. Hopefully you guys agreed. If you didn't, let me know. Obviously, I'm sure there's some things that we didn't see eye to eye on, but that's what I have to say about Madden 21 right now. Overall, it's the closest to the best football game that we've gotten ever. But they do need to fix some balance issues, bug issues, so on, etc. But hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I'll see you tomorrow.